Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching this out there on the World Wide Web. This is Jeremy Geelan for SYS-CON TV here at 13th Cloud Expo with Chetan Patwardhan, CEO of Stratogent, and of course, welcome Chetan.
Thank you very much, Jeremy. Very nice to be here.
13th Cloud Expo. We're in Silicon Valley, a little quiet before the show opens, so let's just ask you, Stratogent, where does it play in the space?
Well, we have been a managed service provider, but lately with all the deafening noise around the cloud, we have found that we do something that people would love to call a purpose cloud.
Purpose cloud?
Yes. So rather than just a private cloud or a public cloud, now you have a cloud that we can design for the CIO. We can actually build it, run it for them at a fixed monthly price that they love and their CFO loves.
Okay, so purpose is in purpose built. It's for them. It's bespoke to them.
Absolutely. It's at their beck and call. They have full control over it, and it's fully auditable, all the good stuff that they would like to have in a cloud, but they're not getting today.
Okay, so that does beg the opposite question. You're going to have to compete against an awful lot of people saying that same thing. So what's the Stratogent, unique selling prop?
So the unique selling proposition is that we are 100% custom. So if you go to one of the service providers, they give you the shoes, you measure your feet to the shoes, you try and fit in them, whether they're comfortable or not, and you pretend that you're happy. So with us, we'll make shoes for them, and we'll be very humble about it and quietly run the operations while let them bask in the limelight.
Okay, that's very nicely expressed. Only a CEO can express things like that. I like that. So that is quite a unique selling proposition. But how does that translate in reality? Because you can't, as CEO, be at the end of all those customer deals. And what if your guys aren't as charming as you are and can't say it that way? How does it translate into, just great service, obviously, great technology, I'm hoping.
Well, thanks for the flattery. But you don't build companies, hopefully, on personalities. You build them on strong processes and strong products. So really what we do is we have taken what we have done for the Purpose Cloud for the last 3 years, refined it, put that into this very box here, if you can please see it, and we will deliver it to your doorstep. And when you open it, it actually opens a nice fluffy cloud, but it is very grounded, very strong, and it works. And to prove that, we have a bunch of real customers that you can talk to.
Okay, so now I can take over because it was too small for the camera. So I'm looking at Fesco, Infomedica, Pacer, Rental Roost, Solta Medical, so we're definitely talking a healthcare bias, but there's no reason for that. It just happens to be the early customer wins.
Yeah, well, actually, some of them are logistics customers, some of them are online rental customers, so there's actually a gamut there.
Okay. So that's not bad. Purpose Cloud customers, out of the box, as you say. Can't help noticing there's no pricing there, but I suppose I write that in myself.
Oh, absolutely, I can write it for you now if you give.
Well, but it's customized, exactly. If I give you the spec, you can.
Yeah.
So that's to emphasize that it's custom. How could I tell you what it costs because you haven't yet told me what your needs are?
Yes, but we are very quick about that. So if you just tell me what your feet are like, I'll tell you the price of the shoes now.
Wow. Okay. Mine are terribly wide, like triple E, roughly 12, depending what country I'm in. I'm very tired because I do a lot of running.
And your real name is Cinderella.
No, she had like size 6, if I recall, high arches, and she at least had one shoe. I don't have either.
Well, things change, This is a new fairy tale.
Wow. I'm not sure I could work for Stratogent. It's too abstract. No, it's brilliant. All right, so that's Purpose Cloud. That's how it translates. So I could be anybody because I can see that from the customer wins, the early customer. Well, 3 years, not so early. You're quite a mature company.
Well, actually, those are just representatives. So we have done this for a dozen companies so far.
So how do we expand? Do we go, obviously we get the word out through interviews like this and through coming to shows like that, but are you after any particular verticals, Chetan? Does it work that way, or do you let them come to you?
Well, yes, you could focus on vertical just for the ease of marketing, but the reality is that this is a great play for a company any size. So the demonstration there is that in the list of customers there, they range from startups past Series A of funding all the way to companies that are several $billion in revenue. So this particular model has worked so far for any size.
All right, then give us the background to Stratogent. I know you're there in San Mateo, one of the marvelous places in the valley, so you're nicely positioned. What's the story behind the company?
The story behind the company is that I spent a decade at Visa, a wonderful company, my ex-employer, a lot of respect for them, and learned a lot there. So learned how to build world-class payment-grade systems that don't break down, and you just don't take them lightly. You can count on them, but do that at a reasonable price, exceed expectations, and actually deliver that. And it's wonderful to be in the Silicon Valley because we absolutely are the cutting edge of technology and get to play with technologies well before they become mature. So for example, VMware, when it was a budding startup, we had actually tested VMware and virtual machines right from version 1.
Right. And privately held still, or what?
Very lovingly and privately held so far.
Lovingly held. I like that one. That's a good one.
We'll go distance. So far, strong fundamentals, privately held, employee-owned, no outside investment, no debts whatsoever, profitable, growing very healthily. So our challenge right now is to really get the message across and make sure that our delivery doesn't falter as we double and quadruple in size.
Well, that's fighting talk, and you heard it here at 13th Cloud Expo Silicon Valley, from the CEO himself of Stratogent. Thank you so much, Chetan, for joining us here on the floor.
Thank you, Jeremy, and thank you, SYS-CON.
Thank you for watching out there on the World Wide Web.